Hello, I'm 3D. I'm here to ruin your childhood memories. Well, today I thought I'd take a break from the Pokemon movies because, quite frankly, people are getting confused with the Suede videos I'm uploading. Now, you might be wondering, why don't I just stop uploading the Suede videos? And the answer is because I know that people will complain if I do. So I'd like to keep those people happy, thank you very much. Now, while I was thinking what to do instead, I remembered a certain show from my childhood, Martin Mystery. This was a show loosely based on the French comic Martin Mystère, but it was basically the boys' alternative to Totally Spies, the other show which was made by the same people at the same time, which was basically a rip-off of Charlie's Angels. But seeing how the Brody community exists, I wouldn't be surprised if boys watched that as well. But enough about that, let's dive into Martin Mystery. I would tell you what it's about, but you'll get it soon enough. So we open at a village in the French countryside.
Don't stray out of my sight, Nelly. I don't want you getting lost in here.
Where everybody's English for some reason. But a guy is returning a book to a library. So after telling Nelly not to run off, she runs off. Very parenting there, guy. And comes across an old book which, quite frankly, has a cover that should scare her off. I mean, look at that thing. If you were a kid, would you open that book? So anyway, she does, and... Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention, every episode has this old horror movie-esque title screen. To be honest, I think it looks pretty cool. And speaking of cool things, check out this opening. So after the cool-ass opening, we cut to Torrington Academy. Now there's a name, what our main characters are. Martin, the wannabe ladies man and cool guy geek. Diana, the neat and tidy bookworm and Martin's stepsister who, even though she says she hates him, hangs out with him. Why? So people can make gross fan fiction about them. And Java, a caveman. Yes, I'm serious. And somehow he got employed as the lunch server slash janitor by the school. Well, if George Bush can become president, then why not? So after Diana makes a bet that Martin can't stay clean for one whole day, or one of them will have to massage Java's feet. Now there's a punishment. Martin's watch begins to bleep.
The center!
Yes, it turns out these people in their late teens are working for a secret paranormal investigation thingy called the Center. How they got this job is never explained. Now, while this is cool, it does warrant the question, how can the Center do all this? I mean, do they have portal-making chips placed all over the academy that are programmed to the Center? And how did they know exactly where they were? I mean, if they didn't, the portal would be somewhere on the other side of the school or something. And more importantly, why can no one see them randomly climbing into a fridge? So after using their scan and seeing that they're going to reuse like the Sailor Moon transformation and say hello to their alien friend, who's for some reason voiced by Double D from Ed, Edd and Eddy.
Can I interest you in a frozen ice cream treat? I've got chocolate burritos and giant banana split bars. Burrito, por favor.
That's some good TV right there.
They go and meet the person in charge, who is simply known as Mom. Not that one.
Don't be alarmed, Java. It's just the Center's virtual combat simulator.
Cool. Can I try?
No, but you can investigate the strange disappearance of a child from a library in northern France.
Northern France? It could have something to do with Karnak. A group of hippies disappeared there in the 70s, you know.
Thank you, Martin. You've just set my cloning research back about 6 months.
And you almost lost our bet.
Anyway, she informs them of what happened in the opening and she teleports them to France.
love the French countryside.
It makes my mouth not match what I'm saying. So they go to the library where the girl vanished via motor car that I guess that was sent to them by the center, and the father tells them what happened.
It was closing time, and I told my Nellie not to stray out of sight. And she didn't listen, and then I heard her scream, and she vanished without a trace.
Maybe an invisible man took her. That would certainly explain a lack of evidence.
Why do I seriously doubt that?
Because you doubt everything, Diana. You're a skeptic. Whoa!
Smooth move, Mr. Secret Agent Extraordinaire.
Diana, it was all part of my plan. Otherwise, I never would have uncovered all this cool goo.
How the hell did they miss that? It's like 3 steps away from them and it's slime against a bookshelf. So Martin uses his watch to teleport one of his many gadgets. What is it with the center and teleporters anyway? I mean, couldn't Martin just carry his gadgets on a utility belt or something?
Analyzing data. Sample identified. Composition. Acidic substrate comprised chiefly of sphagnum moss and peat.
Aha! Bog goo!
Bog goo? That's odd.
Forget the invisible man. My guess is a reanimated bog body left this.
Excuse me?
Oh yeah, according to European folklore, those who met their end in the bogs often came back as mummies seeking revenge. The only question is, why is it taking children?
Where do you come up with this stuff?
Batman? You know, Solomon Grund.
Paranormal Monthly. Every issue comes with a wealth of information and a toy surprise.
Or that. It could have just went with Solomon Grundy.
I told my Ian he wasn't allowed to leave the house, but he didn't listen, and now that thing's stolen him away!
The makers of the show does know what a French accent sounds like, right? I mean, the show was dubbed from French to English. Couldn't they have given the French people a French accent? So they chase the monster who kidnapped the boy, but they lose it when it travels through a portal. Ah, great, even the monsters are using teleporters.
Whoa, that's the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen.
The fact that our abductor just turned into a pile of worms, or the fact that the ground is glowing?
Both. I mean, sure, I've heard of shape-shifting in space-time wormholes, but I didn't know they actually existed.
So, what do we do now? Open up the wormhole thingy and morph ourselves after the monster?
Too late for that. The portal's closed. Besides, diving in that hole would pretty much ensure that I'm Java's official toe toucher.
What? So now because of our stupid bet, the trail is cold?
Not cold.
Huh, it's a book covered in bog goo. He must have found it in the library.
Tale of the Boogeyman?
Oh yeah, you can see it clearly written there. In invisible ink, I don't know.
Sounds like some kind of freaky fairy tale.
More like non-fiction. Hey, check out what the main character's up to.
No way. He's stealing kids!
And dragging them off to his evil bog world.
Oh, this is too freaky. Guess your bog body theory wasn't so kooky after all.
Thanks. Nothing.
Okay, so now we know who our bad guy is. How do we stop him?
Piece of cake. All we have to do is read ahead and see how this boogeyman story ends.
Good thinking, Martin. Except that the last page is missing.
I guess that the book ends halfway through, seeing how there's plenty of pages still to go.
So much for outsmarting our monster.
Maybe not. There's still one thing we haven't tried.
U-Watch activated. Legendex selected.
Boogeyman. According to the Legendex, he's a mythological nursery monster from 13th century France. He comes out at night and steals naughty children, sealing them in his boogie world for all eternity.
Now how come Martin hasn't heard of the Boogeyman? I thought he was a paranormal expert. And even if he wasn't, I thought the Boogeyman was well known. I mean, there's tons of media where the Boogeyman has appeared. Now wait, how come Martin hasn't heard of him from there? Wait a minute. Why didn't Martin use the Legendex to begin with? I mean, all he had to do was type in kidnaps children, leaves behind bog goo. Mystery solved!
Wait a minute. Nellie and Ian were both naughty. That's why the boogeyman took them.
Perhaps we could venture forth and find new worlds to explore. Ah!
Hey, you're right. Only that still doesn't tell us how to stop him.
Don't be too sure. Come on, I've got a plan.
Okay, so we've gathered up the naughtiest kids left in the town. Now tell me, what's your plan?
We get them to behave badly and draw the monster right to them.
That's your plan? Martin Mystery, that's the worst idea you've ever had!
I have to admit, son, it doesn't sound like a very bright idea to me either.
Aren't you a little young to be running this investigation? Trust me, you've got nothing to fear. Java and I will be here to protect your children.
Right then, if you need help, we'll be outside.
What? He's using your kids to lure a monster, and you're just gonna sit outside in case they need you? If somebody told me that, I'd grab my kid and run.
Okay, time to get this party started. Who's up for jumping on their beds?
Me!
And why are the kids going along with it? I mean, sure, every kid wants to jump on their bed at some point, but they know if they do, then the boogeyman will get them.
Well then, get to it!
They never come back as boys.
Oh, come on, you can do better than that.
Yeah, and this guy's really cool!
At least someone around here appreciates my genius.
Yeah, a bunch of 10-year-olds.
Okay, it's been 10 whole seconds and nothing. I don't think the boogie guy's gonna show.
Just be patient. Awesome!
So you're the one everybody's talking about. You're joking. You're joking. I can't believe my eyes. You're joking me. You gotta be. This can't be the right guy. He's ancient. He's ugly. I don't know which is worse. I might just split a seam now if I don't die laughing first.
So Oogie Boogie escapes, but Martin and co follow him through the portal into the boogie world. I just realized that sounds like a dance club. So in the boogie world, they find the missing children.
It's the boogeyman! No, we're the good guys. We're here to help you.
We want to go home.
Don't worry, you're with the master now. I'll get us out of here in no time.
Not likely.
What kind of a whatever you are brings innocent people to a place like this?
You're here because you're naughty children, and you're never going to leave.
Excuse me, I'm not a child. I am a young lady.
A very naughty young lady who didn't do her lit homework.
How did you know that?
I know all.
I am Dr. Claw, master of gossip. So the boogeyman attempts to leave them in the world, leaving a giant gaping hole in the ceiling, and yet it takes them a few minutes to figure out the blinking obvious. So they finally climb the tree and escape through the hole and end up in a fountain for some reason.
Nice going,
Marty.
It worked! You did it, mister!
Now, to find that monster.
I guess the annual Pitchfork and Torches convention was in town. That would explain all the English accents.
We have to stop him before he takes the children back into his world.
Mom, too, ought to do the trick. Let's see how you deal with this, swamp freak!
So after scaring off the boogeyman, the master of fear, the group then go to search for the missing page, but Oogie Boogie isn't far behind.
I'll check out the spot where Nellie went missing.
Java and I will cover the rest of the library.
There's no escape for naughty boys.
Hey!
You are activated. Turbo bungee selected.
The turbo bungee never fails. Okay, the turbo bungee almost never fails.
Martin! Java! I figured it out! Look, in the end, the children send the boogeyman back into his book.
So after hearing that the group have discovered his weakness, Oogie decides to fly towards them, prompting Martin to hold of the book, sealing him away. Great thinking there, Oogie. Also, how does that work? Because it's written in a book, the boogeyman has to be sealed inside that book? Is it like the book's coming to life or something? Can you just imagine if a Doctor Who episode worked like that?
Doctor, I'm going to kidnap all the children whom I deem naughty.
I'm afraid that won't happen, Boogeyman.
Oh, and why's that?
Because it says inside this book that you're gonna be trapped inside this book.
Oh, well, I better get trapped in it then.
Yes, you should. In you go. Well, that was fun. Now check out how rushed this conclusion is. Martin finds out that he has a stain on his shirt. Mom comes round in a car, good to know that they have one, to congratulate them and take the book. The parents thank Martin, but uh-oh, it turns out it wasn't a stain after all. It was a piece of paper. You know what that means.
You're really massaging Java's feet.
Maybe you could take a rain check?
Java, what now?
A deal's a deal, Di. Get massaging.
So that was the first episode of Martin Mystery. Surprisingly, it holds up. I mean, sure, it's no Avatar: The Last Airbender or Motor City, but for what it is, it's still pretty good. The animation is good, even though the dubbing doesn't fit sometimes, and it does do a pretty good job of portraying the boogeyman. Well, that's this review done, and I'm gonna keep reviewing Martin Mysteries because, quite frankly, I found this fun. Now, whether or not I'm stopping reviewing the Pokemon movies is up to you. Now, until then, I'm 3D, and I failed to ruin your childhood memories.